Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the New Hampshire Business Show. My name is Chris Pastrana, and today we are here with Kimberly Deziree. How's it going?
Good. How's it going? Good.
So, tell me about yourself. I know you have this big brand that you are rebranding. So, let's learn who you are.
Well, who am I? I am many things, actually. I am an intuitive counselor, spiritual counselor, life coach. Recently became a recovery coach. But now my work is turning to helping people do transformation work, where they are able to move through their blocks and help guide them to what's keeping them stuck. Seems to be my specialty right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's probably a lot to unpack just in that one little sentence.
There is, yeah.
So
there is.
let's start with the first part. You said intuitive coach?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What's that? Break that down a little bit.
Most people know an intuitive as the word psychic.
Okay.
So I do intuitive work. I like to say intuitive because that's using really your intuition. We all have it, but we're closed off from it, most people. So I've learned to tap into that to the point where I can let that be my navigation and guide me.
Yeah.
So I started actually doing psychic readings like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And it became a hobby. It was fun, and I was doing readings at metaphysical places and fairs, and I quickly decided that readings were leading to healing.
Okay.
So my readings, which would be about 30 minutes to an hour, I would do it on the phone. I do it internationally for people. It led to me finding the blocks and things that were holding them back and hurting them and the patterns, which led to me feeling the need to want to coach them and guide them through the process of unbecoming and letting go and healing. So it started out that way. So I started doing intuitive coaching, which between 3 to 5 sessions, I could clear somebody of, blocks and patterns and kind of send them on their way. And then that led to me creating courses in writing, and I work at a magazine online. I'm an intuitive. I answer people intuitively in a vlog, Dear Desiree, like the intuitive Dear Abby. So people send me questions, and I tune into my intuition, and I also use my business background, my life experience, and I answer from my heart and where I'm guided to answer to help them.
Yeah.
So that's how I use my intuition.
Okay. Yeah, so I can definitely see how you phrase it as intuitive coach. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's a very natural step to go from kind of reading what's going on and then kind of helping them through it. I like that little addition to what you had done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the intuition guides me right where to go. It's almost like I ask a few questions and then I just automatically know where to go. And then the intuition guides me as to what I need to start digging and pulling up so that they start to open up to where their blocks are and their patterns. And then from there, it just kind of evolves and it just takes on a life of its own. It's really kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So what started all of it for you?
About 4 years ago, I was living my life, and I finally had the life I always wanted, I thought, and it fell apart instantly. And the rug was pulled out from under me. Mm-hmm. And that led to my spiritual awakening because I was at a place where I couldn't believe my life was in shambles again. So I knew it had to be me. It just had to be me. So I went on a quest to find out, how did I get here again?
Yeah.
And that led to a spiritual awakening where I started questioning everything in my life. And it just is like when you're ready and you're open to go inward and do the work and, connect with your soul, the universe will assist you, and all the right people and books and things just started happening. So, I kind of went on a quest to find the truth of why my life was where it was, because I had experienced a lot of trauma, divorces, and I went into recovery 7 years ago. So I thought being sober, my life would change.
Yeah.
And it got better. But within 3 years, I was still in that place again where it fell apart, and I couldn't understand it. It's like, well, I'm sober. I thought it was the alcohol.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was me. So that led to my spiritual awakening. I just decided to clear myself, read books, get help. Sorry, I'm thirsty. And, I just started understanding how everything worked, and how it was my mind and my belief systems and my upbringing that led to the chaos in my life, and I really needed to, do some healing. And I didn't understand what healing was until I went on a spiritual path, and then it just kind of evolved from there.
Yeah.
And then, before you know it, I was invited to be, I was in a group for spiritual businesses because I thought, well, I want to help people. I'm intuitive. I know how to help people, so I want to do readings, maybe open a metaphysical bookstore. And I was online for a business Facebook group where they had a business, free business thing with spiritual people. So that led to me being offered some beta testing for the woman who owned the group out of California. And she says, I've been watching some of the stuff you're writing, and I'd like you to test my programs. And that led to me learning about Facebook and the leads and the all that automated stuff. And, I'm not a tech person because my other career was hairdressing. I was in 33 years owning salons and spas. So all this tech stuff was really difficult. And, I worked with her. I ended up hiring her as a coach. And then I ended up writing for her on her magazine. She opened a magazine, and I wanted to be the intuitive Dear Abby because I've always given good advice. So that's how it evolved. It was just kind of one thing after another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I see that. I think I was telling my last guest, I see that a lot in especially industries where people help each other. Mm-hmm. It usually stems from something that you experienced that you turn around and then begin helping other people with. Mm-hmm. And I like that a lot, especially for entrepreneurs, and it's a good way to go about it.
Yeah, I never expected it to turn into a business, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, okay, I love the readings and the helping and the books, and, I was kind of on that woo-woo side of metaphysics for a while. But then I realized I had just built my last hair salon, and it was, like $100,000 salon. It was the biggest one I had built, and I was into it maybe 2 years. And when I had this awakening, I couldn't even go in there. I didn't even want to go in. And it was like, I need to get out of here. I need to sell this. I sold it. Well, I didn't sell it. I closed it. And I devoted my life into helping. That's what I wanted to do, is help people and figure out how I could do this. And it started turning into a business. And it just kind of evolved from there, which was, I never expected my pain and suffering and the work that I did on myself I just wanted to not suffer anymore and have things happen in pain. But the gift out of it was that I can actually take other people through the process quicker and help them understand themselves and what's going on without having to do it the way I did it and have to completely get to the point where everything fell apart. It's like, if you're not happy, there's time to save it and fix it before it gets to that point, because the universe is always knocking on your door to get your attention, and we ignore it. We don't pay attention to the signs and the signals. So it gets to the point where we have to have total demolition and act like I can't understand how I got here, when all along the signs were there. So I feel, like it's a privilege to be able to help people go through that process of healing and changing their lives before it gets to falling apart completely.
I find this very interesting. Because as you were talking, there's a couple of terms that kind of stuck in my mind that we can kind of touch base on. First is self-sabotage, because that's probably something you see a ton.
Yeah.
And the other one is alignment. So when you were talking, and you're talking about you had started your last hair salon, and you just knew it wasn't for you. Like you were totally out of alignment. And then you found some time to correct yourself, and now you're moving again.
Yeah.
That's something you see quite a bit in other people and entrepreneurs and all that stuff?
Well, I think when we have our life's purpose, but when we have our awakening, we have our soul's purpose. They're two different things. My hairdressing career was my passion. That was my life's purpose. I did it for 33 years since I was 18 years old, and 7 salon spas. I was at the top of my game. I did it all. But when I had my awakening and I realized I was none of those things, and that everything I thought I wasn't, revealed my soul's purpose. And if I didn't go through all those experiences and all that heartache and, just all of it, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now. And, those lessons when I thought God hated me, when I was really like, oh my God, you hate me, he was teaching me so that I could take that and help other people. Because when I had my other business, I was selfish and I was in my ego. And I thought, I worked hard for this and I'm all that. And it was when I decided to do this work and shed that false sense of self. And now I'm coming from soul. Like my soul is actually ascended back in my body where my ego has just got kicked right out. And now I come from a heart space. So I'm doing things out of that vibration, which is a much higher vibration and frequency versus the ego. Yeah. And that's why things in my life are unfolding the way they are and not falling apart. And it's just like the path is opening as if magic. You know, it's just opening in front of me the more I'm coming from a heart space.
Yeah. I like that. I've heard a couple of people talk about this before, and I forget what they call it. You know, manifestation. Some people have, I forget the other word that people typically use for that.
You're talking about the law of attraction and
yeah,
all the spiritual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that come up a lot. Is that kind of a similar area
well,
what we're talking about? The
thing is, when you start, you have to do your work in order to understand what your purpose here is.
Yeah.
We're all looking for our purpose. Whatever the most difficult thing in your life that you've had to overcome that brought you to your knees and you thought was going to kill you is the thing that you have to give other people when you come on the other side of it. So when you get to that space, you're now open, you know, especially when you're spiritually awake and you understand that, you know, you're not in control of any of this. You are absolutely not in control. The only thing you can do is be open to receive guidance from spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call it. When I was able to shed the ego self and drop everything in complete surrender and not try to control everything according to my wants, but knowing that I'm open, I don't know the answers, but I'm open. And be open to receive where you need to go. You know, just, okay, I know this is what my heart wants.
Yeah.
I might think I need to do all these things to get there when the universe is going, no, I got something better. Just be open and follow the trail and follow your intuition where you're guided to go. And I will take you there and you'll get there. Because we all have a destiny, you know, but we shut it off because when we become closed and shut off to the universe and energy, we get misled and off the path. So, you know, there's fate, karma, destiny.
Yeah.
Fate is certain things that are going to happen in your life. They're meant to happen. You'll meet certain people at certain points in your life. Certain things happen so that you can have that dark night of the soul kind of thing where everything falls apart. Your life's a mess. That's fated to happen because you're supposed to learn something from it.
Yeah.
And it's when we don't face our fear and work through it, we don't get to go further on our path. What happens is we get the fated thing, and then we go over here. We don't do the work. We go around and around in circles, but we always end up back here. So when we do the work, we alter the course of our karma, because karma can't go away. Karma is something that is always happening.
Yeah.
So if we don't do the work, we continue the karma, and we'll go over to another path, and we'll keep getting off, but getting back to here. We do our work. We understand the lesson. Our karma changes, which brings us to the next piece of the journey, which brings us here. So now other things will start to happen to help us.
Yeah.
So the more that we're open to work with these, you know, things where you think they're happening to you, they're happening, but they're not happening to you. They're happening to help you grow and stretch you and evolve you as a soul, as a person. So when you do that work, you get to go to the next piece because life is always going to be lessons. I always thought when I get this thing that makes me happy, I'm going to be complete. My goal was to have my family, to, you know, have a house, to get remarried, you know, whatever. And when I finally had it, it fell apart. So I realized there is no destination. It's always growth and expansion. It's what do you do when you get those big moments where everything is there in front of you to learn? Do you work with it? Are you open? Are you going to get the lesson? Because if you do, then you get the goods, and then you have something else in your tool belt to take you to the next point. And then, you know, your life evolves. But it's most people don't see it that way, and they see it happening to them, and they're a victim.
Yeah.
And that's why they don't grow and people are unhappy.
Yeah, because that's a very tough pill to swallow when you realize that you have to experience the bad stuff to get, again, to the point where you can do any sort of personal growth and strength, right? And people don't want to hear that, never.
You can't avoid it.
Yeah.
You can run, you can hide, you can numb yourself, you can do whatever you want, kick and scream, but you're meant to learn certain things.
Yeah.
And when you fight it and resist it, the lessons are going to get harder and bigger. So when you realize, okay, this stuff is going on outside of me, it's reflecting what's really inside of me that I need
Yeah.
to work on. Like, I've learned to look at everything from a witness standpoint in my life versus being in it. I'm out here watching it.
Yeah.
And that's a huge, huge difference, because I can see things and make decisions based on what I'm looking at, not what I'm feeling, not what I'm stuck in. So I see things much differently. I see things from a higher perspective, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And that definitely has helped me move forward in my work. But yeah, you can't avoid the work. You can't, there's no getting around it.
Yeah.
There's no free pass.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting pretty in there. Is there anything else you want to kind of hit on, areas we haven't discussed?
Well, lately the work that I'm doing is it's karmic work.
Yeah.
That's where my work has evolved to. Like I said, it started out with the intuition and helping people through their stuff and evolve, which has actually led to business, helping people in their businesses.
Yeah.
And what I found is that most people that are stuck in business, because I do have a business background and I was an executive director for a business company too, is that the reason they're stuck in their business is because they're really stuck in their life and they're stuck in their patterns. And so I'm realizing that in order for me to help people with their business to get where they want to go, ultimate goals, I have to help clear them of their emotional baggage from the past.
Yeah.
Because no matter what it is you're going for, a goal, a dream, your business, whatever it is that you're trying to attain, if you don't clear yourself of the many layers of baggage and programming from the time you were born
Yeah.
to where you are now, you can't get there. I can give you all the information about marketing and business, and I can put a plan together, but if you are not cleared, you're not getting there.
Yeah.
Bottom line. And that's a hard one for people to wrap their head around. It was hard for me because I had to go through the journey myself to figure that out.
Yeah.
So, everything I was moving towards, it was kind of like, all right, I'm here again. Why is it? There's got to be something. And I'd go digging, pull it up, and it's like, oh, okay. So I feel like the body of the work that I want to really focus on right now is people's family karma and what they're carrying from the people that raised them, what they were exposed to, because all of those stories we carry. And we relive them over and over again. So depending on how you were raised, the family, the schooling, the belief systems, the family politics, whatever, we unconditionally take that on. And that is the underlying force of what we are doing. So if we come from a background that's not really healthy, that has a lot to do with why things in our life right now are not working.
Yeah.
So I like to take people all the way back to finding out where it came from and how to clear it so that they can be free of it to be themselves. And then once they know who they are, that's when their creativity and their intuition and all that stuff opens up, so they can actually work and fulfill their goals and, create their own destiny. Because if we don't do that, our destiny will end up the same as the people who raised us.
Yeah.
So there's you've got your fate, your karma, destiny. Destiny is keep doing the same karma, same result. Change the karma, different result. Your destiny can be whatever you want it to be, as long as you're open to it and allow it to come to you and work with it. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, cool.
I just had this whole tangent in my head about I'm doing a lot with people who, because what we're talking about a lot is you have the ability to change your life, generally, right? I've gotten the opposite point of view from some people, who say that it's impossible to change your own life. We don't actually have free will. So I like balancing these two arguments against each other because it's very fun.
Yeah.
Because it goes directly against everything you're talking about, and so I've had that debate with a couple people. It's pretty interesting.
Oh, I'd love to talk to them.
Yeah.
No, because I don't know if you're familiar with Louise Hay, but she wrote a book, Change Your Life. What was the name of it? With your thoughts or something. But our thoughts definitely dictate our life.
Yeah.
And when we change our thoughts, we can change our life. If you're always having, these unconscious thoughts that, I'm not successful and I'm never going to do anything, of course we're going to fulfill that. We change our thoughts, but yet it still doesn't change our life. It's because we have the karmic stuff with us. And that's the stuff that we have to get to the unconscious mind, because just like a ship, we think we're driving it and we can steer wherever we want to go, right? Well, if it's not really us, it's the rudder underneath it really steering it. So it's the same thing about, well, I'm just going to change my thoughts. It's the unconscious thoughts that are really ruling you. So as much as I can say, well, I'm going to be positive today, if I'm still in the programming of a negative background and family where it was gloom and doom and everybody was just, having failure after failure, I really am still believing that. So as much as I say I'm going to be, successful and positive, if I don't clear that unconsciously, I can't get that. I can get close, but I'll always go back to failure.
Yeah.
So that's where the clearing work for me is starting to be the really key thing that I focus on, because if you don't do that work, you can't get there. You can, but it won't stay.
Yeah. Yeah, and it goes back to what we were talking about earlier with self-sabotage, and like you will find a reason to fail. Like either whether you do it purposely
Yep.
or subconsciously, you'll fail. You'll crush yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. So how do people reach out with you, get in touch, learn some more?
The best way to find me is probably on my website. It's KimberlyDeziree.com, and it's Deziree, KimberlyDeziree.com. And I have a Talk to Me tab where people can send me a question, you make an appointment with me, free discovery session. I do that a lot. If somebody's having troubles with their business, blocks, moving on, whatever, I'll do a free session just to kind of get a feel of where they are. And then, okay, this is what I would recommend, whether it's a course or, another session or whatever. But, yeah, that's probably the best place to reach me is at my website. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me today. I love these types of conversations, so I was very happy when you agreed to come on the show.
Yeah, this is great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to have the last word from our sponsors, and everyone have a great day. That's it for today, everyone, but it doesn't have to end there. Head over to iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or iHeartRadio to get more from New Hampshire's top entrepreneurs.